Hello, everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Love for Intuitive Astrology. So, today I'm going to talk about the upcoming new moon that will happen in the sign of Capricorn on the 18th of January 2026 at 28 degrees and 43 minutes. Now, I will start off with explaining this new moon in general, and then we're going to dive into each and every single sign. Most accurate is your rising sign, and for additional information, you can watch your sun sign and your moon sign. Now, before we start, I had a giveaway of two free half an hour readings, and I just want to announce the winner. So, if you participated in this in December, stay tuned. If not, you can skip. I'm going to put chapters so you can straight go into the meaning of this new moon for you. Okay, so the first winner of the free half an hour giveaway is Jody Lee 07. So send me an email that you find in the description box below. Okay, and I will speak to you soon. And the second winner is going to be Autumn Pendergast 9151. So please send me an email and I will be speaking to you soon. Okay. So let's start and have a look at this new moon that will happen on the 18th of January. Okay. And this new moon is in a close conjunction with Mercury and Mars, right? And Mars is exalted in Capricorn. So this is a beautiful time to take action. And since it's the new moon, a lot of you will start a new job, a new project. This is a perfect day to set new goals. So you can set new goals for the year, for your job, for certain projects, um, weight goals. You can say, I want to go to the gym more. I want to buy a house and make a plan towards that. So, what this new moon wants you to do is to make long term plans because Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. This is about taking responsibilities. This is about long term commitment. It's about slow and steady movement. Okay. So wherever it falls for you, which I'm going to discuss soon, this is where long term planning is needed in your life. Okay. Now, this new moon and also Mars and Mercury are all in a trine with Uranus, and Uranus is retrograde. It is almost on its way to be in the next sign of Gemini, which will happen in April. And in February, it will actually station direct. But Uranus is quite uncomfortable, right, in the sign of Taurus, because Taurus is all about stability. Um, this is not a full agreement, or Uranus will not fully agree with this steadiness that Taurus really wants, right? And so Uranus here is shaking things up a little bit when it comes to money, when it comes to stability. But there's a beautiful trine happening. So there's actually a push towards creative ideas on how to make more money. Okay. Creative ideas on how to find more stability in the future. So you're going to think out of the box with the plans that you're making. So it's really a wonderful time, okay, to make changes or to look at the future, okay? And this is not for fast achievements. This is about having a solid plan. Then we have Pluto, okay, the planet of transformation. It's about life, death, and rebirth, okay? It's in the sign of Aquarius. And since it's been in the sign of Aquarius, which is also about technology, the internet, futuristic perspectives. This is also about finding more equality among each other, right? And since Pluto is in Aquarius, we see AI, we see an advancement in technology, and also we see that people are becoming more equal. So we don't have this really clear hierarchy structure anymore. Then we have Venus. So Venus is about money. This is about, in my opinion, self love. and self-love is reflected in relationships. Okay, so what does Pluto do here with Venus around this new moon? Is bringing in some uncomfortable feelings. Okay, so Pluto is bringing forward everything from the underworld. So anything stuck, suppressed in your body regarding love, regarding money, that needs to be resolved will come to the forefront. Okay. So an example is feelings of jealousy, which is normal. Okay. Everybody's feeling jealous sometimes. It is the way you deal with it, right? Because where are those feelings come from? Because someone has something that you want to have as well. So, what you can do, what Pluto wants, is for you to dive deeper, find inner strength to see how can I get that as well, but in your own way. Because when we start to copy other people, it's not working, right? So, we need to be in our authentic version of ourselves so we can attract someone that actually suits you, right? Because we all thrive better on a different relationship. So, one size doesn't fit all. Okay. So it's better to be in your authentic self to really have that relationship that you want. We have Chiron in Aries right now, direct in a square with Mars and with Mercury and also with Jupiter. So there's a massive healing taking place. Okay, when it comes to healing your authentic version and who is that really? So you're really exploring that. And not only does Chiron align with that, it's also Saturn and Neptune. Neptune is almost ready to go in the sign of Aries. Okay, so it's about to move. It's at 29 degrees. Then we have Saturn in the conjunction, and those two will be in a conjunction up until more or less April. And this is really bringing up because Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac, right? It rules the 12th house. This is where we close a lot of things, a lot of subconscious feelings. So, what do we see on a collective level? We see that a lot of people are solving their traumas, are being faced with the uncomfortable. Okay. And it's up to you. Are you willing to deal with those feelings? Are you ready to face them? Okay, so it's a bit uncomfortable, but actually if you take that on with both hands, you're gonna release a lot of karma, and that's what we're doing globally, right? um so we have Mars and Mercury together, right, with this new moon. And let's go back to Capricorn because Capricorn is about authority, right? So it rules the 10th house. So that those are the authority figures in your life, which is your boss, your father, right? In some cases, your mom. So, but mostly it's father or authority, right? And there's this beautiful alignment right now that you have a time that if you need to speak up, you're able to speak up right now. Okay. We have good aspects from this new moon, from Mercury, from Mars to Saturn and Neptune. Okay. And what needs to happen in order to resolve karma? Like sometimes we have to speak up about something. And Capricorn is a sign that can do that in a really responsible, serious way. Mars is quite intense, but Capricorn will hold Mars back. So have a plan. If you need to speak to your boss, if you need to speak to your father, even if you need to arrange certain things with the government, right? Government is in some way also authority over us, if we want it or not. So arranging things with the government is also a good time now. Okay. We do have Venus and Pluto. So do your research first, right? This is about long-term commitments and anything that's not a long-term commitment, anything that is more about, too good to be true situations, don't fall for that right now. In relationships, in love, so if you're single, you're meeting someone now, take your time. Okay. If it goes too quick, too fast, and you want a relationship, Pluto is tricking you into showing these suppressed emotions because Pluto is quite harsh with that. Okay. And I've done a lot of research in Pluto and have a strong Pluto placement myself. So I know it can really bring out these uncomfortable feelings, okay? Also with money, because Venus is also money. So you will meet people that maybe don't pay you back, or do anything related to the money, to anything related with money, okay? So just watch how that's gonna project to you and how you can solve that within yourself, okay? Sometimes you just simply need to stand up for yourself in a calm, nice way, okay? I think that is about it for the introduction. I think I'm ready to go to all the signs. So I will start with Aries. And as you know, on my channel, I combine astrology with intuitive messages. So I'm going to start out with the astrology, and then I'm going to pull a card to give you some extra information that is a little bit thought provoking. Okay. Um, so Aries, Sun and Rising. For you, we have this new moon in Capricorn at 28 degrees in your 10th house. So especially for you, everything I've talked about in the introduction is like tenfolded, right? So this is a perfect time to go after your work. Some of you will start a new job, start a new project, work with a new client. Okay, this is a new beginning. When it comes to work, it can just be energetically as well, you know, making a fresh start. It could be that you have this really good idea because we have Mercury and Mars together in your 10th house. So if you have any good plans or anything that you want to share, this is the time to do that. We also have all these planets in Capricorn in a trine with Uranus in the second house. So it might be actually that you have this fantastic creative idea on how to make money, more money, or money in creative ways. It could be through, you know, different sources of income and things like that. So you will be very creative, and don't back down on sharing those ideas with other people. However, we have Pluto and Venus in the 11th house. So be careful with who you share your ideas, okay? Unless they're really settled, and Aries, they're really your ideas. I would keep it to yourself a little bit, especially in if you're going on a conference or you're meeting your friends, you know, keep the idea to yourself unless until you really established that idea. That's very important. In general, because we have Venus, Pluto there in the 11th house, there is something happening with friendships. So um, anything, you know, any jealousy, any like bad intents from people around you will be coming to the surface. Okay. It might be just as general with this placement that you're hearing about a relationship um, from your friends that it's not what it seems, right? And in my own opinion, the people who are trying to make things look so perfect to the outside world usually have less stable relationships, right? Because why do you need to prove it to everyone around you that your relationship is so good? Like it's almost that you're trying to convince yourself that it's that perfect, right? Um, then we have Saturn and Neptune, well, very close to your sign. It's at 29 degrees, so very soon moving into your sign. So if you're an early degree Aries, you can already feel this placement coming closer, right? And Neptune can make things a bit foggy. So between 0 and 5 degrees, you're gonna feel it. And it would be a bit like daydreaming, okay? Makes you a bit more dreamy, but luckily Saturn is there to kind of take on Neptune. But still in the 12th house, actually in the last few degrees, you're able to remove a lot of karma, lots of heavy karma from past lives, from your ancestors. And it's making a good place, a good aspect with this whole bunch, right? Mars, Mercury, new moon, and also Venus and Pluto. So it's time now to really look at the uncomfortable feelings regarding work. So maybe there is something related to self-worth, or you're undervaluing yourself, or something related with money. So if there's any wound there, you know, if you're into meditation or, you know, any spiritual routines are really going to help you right now. So yeah, take your time during this new moon and set new goals. This is the best day to do that, Aries. So let me get you a card. I have this life purpose cards. I think they're so suiting with this new moon. Okay, career change. Well, we just talked about that, Aries. So you're embarking upon a career that brings you the joy and abundance you desire and deserve. So this is also about you choosing something that is closer to your heart. And Capricorn is saying, how can you get there in the long term? Like, how can you make that happen? Because some people, they want it to happen right away. And that's just really difficult, right? Sometimes we need a plan because we have to pay bills and we have to be realistic, which is what Capricorn wants. Then I have writing. So some of you want to write in your work or want to write something. It could just be journaling, okay? Look at that. There's an angel behind this person. So it could be that you're channeling certain messages. Writing down ideas on this day will be very, very helpful for you. Okay. If there's anything you need to sort with your boss or speak up about, do it in a calm way. But this is a good time to actually share some of your feelings. Okay. So that would be my message for you, my amazing Aries. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time. So let's move on now to Taurus. So Taurus, Sun, and Rising. We have this new moon in Capricorn at 28 degrees in your ninth house. Okay. So you will be highly impacted, especially if you also have your sun, moon, and rising in the later degrees, right? Up until 30 degrees and 25 and 30. You will have, between these degrees, you're going to feel it especially, okay? Because it's going to make a trine to this ninth house. So this would be a time where some of you are going to go on a trip. And we're talking about Capricorn here, right? Ruled by Saturn. So it's important that if you're going on a trip, that you plan it well, okay? This is not a let's see where it takes us kind of energy. This is an energy that says, okay, we need a good planning and plan ahead, okay? Same with studying, because some of you might want to read a book, start a study, write an essay or write a report or do certain research, okay? Also the ninth house, higher learning. So you could be into, I don't know, quantum physics or astrology, because Capricorn likes solid, tangible proof, right? It's like, okay, if spirituality exists, I would like to see something tangible. So you would be someone that could want to try to prove that, right? True, more solid advice. So beautiful time to start that and look into different subjects or orientate what you want to do, maybe career wise, and how you can change your study or how you can study towards that. If you're a teacher as well, it's time to do deep research before you start to teach. But you can actually really empower a lot of people and they can really respect you if you do that the right way. Okay. Languages, if you're into studying languages or you're doing some kind of import and export, that is a beautiful time to make certain agreements with that. Now we do have Pluto with Venus, so make good agreements when it comes to money. Okay, don't let yourself be tricked into a situation that you're not comfortable with. Okay. Also with Pluto there, right, and Venus, it could be some difficulty with a boss. You might not be in agreement or someone is taking advantage of a certain situation. So what Pluto wants is to find your inner power and your inner strength to make things work. So don't go in the games, right? Because then you are also going into the shadow side of Pluto. And the highest degree of Pluto, right? Pluto rules Scorpio. Scorpio has 3 layers. So you want to be in the highest layer, right? That's why you're watching this channel, because you want to evolve. So the best is to not go into games, but to stand up for yourself. If that is you, that is in that situation. Okay. There might be a sudden shift even in your career. Okay. Sudden changes, suddenly starting something else. Okay. We have Saturn and Neptune in the 11th house, almost rounding up in your 11th house. So this was a timing for you to see who are your true friends and who maybe were there just temporarily. Okay, so a lot of karma is able to be burned and cleansed when it comes to your friendships, because the North Node does pull you in that direction, but in some cases there were some uncomfortable situations going on. Okay, so yeah, a new direction in life, because we also have this new moon. We have Mercury and um, Mars in a trine with Uranus. So yeah, trying different paths, even with Uranus in the first house. And it's soon going to be closed, right? Because it's going to go to your second house, which is more about your self-worth and your money. Okay. We're getting Dolphin. Financial gain, usually coming from something you did in the past. So long-term planning, like maybe you thought that what you wanted was not what you could make money from, right? And now you're seeing that if I have a solid plan, maybe that can actually happen. There's my doggy. Hello, sweetie. As you can see, I'm in a different location. Do you want to sit here? I already have one cat on my lap. Pretty. Here. Come, sweetie. Here. Do you want to introduce yourself? It's okay. Anyways, what do we have here? Okay, maybe some, like I said, enemies are working against you. I mean, that's quite harsh, but yeah, friendships, finding out friendships, or even in the workplace. Okay, you might find out who is your true friend and who is not. Okay, I want to show it actually. Pretty, hello. Show yourself. That's Freddie. We got him last year and we found him. Yeah, he was a bit abused by his owner. So we took him and he's very happy here. Anyways, that was my message for you, my amazing Taurus. Um, Sending you many blessings. If you want to support my channel, subscribe to it. Leave a comment below. I would love to know what your long-term planning is. If you want to, if you're going in a new direction, if you're going to study for it, I would love to hear from you. And until next time. So let's move on now to Gemini. So Gemini, Sun and Rising. For you, we have this new moon in Capricorn at 28 degrees in your 8th house. And, you know, this is a perfect time for you to actually arrange paperwork. And I know it sounds a bit boring, but if you need to do anything related to insurance, your pension, maybe even an inheritance that you need to arrange. Okay, we have Mercury and we have Mars. So this is a perfect time to figure things out. Like your Mercury is very strong and you're not really someone that's going to give up right now. Okay? So good time for research. If you're an accountant or you do any type of research, scientific research, um, if you're a psychologist, you can really find out new ways on like to improve things long term. So this might as well start with something very, very interesting that you might bring forward. That is going to change a lot of things. Okay, we have Pluto and Venus in your 9th house. And so this could be, you know, a bit of a tricky placement. So if you're looking for some kind of teacher right now, Pluto does or might give you a teacher that is not completely what you were looking for. You need someone powerful. So Pluto likes someone powerful, but not someone who is controlling. So watch out for teachers, or even you might have a, you know, some disagreements with a course or a study you're following with that teacher. Okay. So as well is if you're traveling, watch out for money scams. Okay, or people that are trying to set you up or watch your belongings when you are on a trip around this time. That's just really, really important. We have Saturn and Neptune in the 10th house. So almost out of the 10th house, which is going to be much better for your career. But you've been, for some of you, you've been carrying more responsibilities than usual, right? So even if you got like, for example, a promotion, you got more responsibility. So it could have felt quite heavy. And when Saturn is going into Aries in the 11th house, the heaviness will be a bit lighter. Neptune as well will move soon into the 11th, which is going to keep the North Node in Pisces there, which is going to give you more breathing space. So even if you got restricted, because sometimes Saturn restricts, right? It can restrict a job. It will be easier for you to find a new one. Okay. Also regarding this new moon, if you're trying to get a mortgage or a certain loan or something like that, you might get some good news around this time. Okay, I'm slapping my microphone. Let me get you a card, Gemini. Creative expression. Your soul longs to express itself creatively. So maybe it's time to paint again. But also what I'm seeing is a canva or a canvas. How do you say that? Canva? Canvas. And when you have an empty canvas, you can paint it however you want. So that's the same with life. Like some of you had a bit of a reset. Eighth house is also transformation. So some of you are starting anew, and you can really create the life that you want with a long-term plan. So this is a beautiful time to actually write down what it is you want, or maybe paint down what you want. Okay. Strength. Everything you've experienced in your life. I don't know if you hear it, but Freddie, come here. Come sit with me. Yeah? He's a bit upset because my partner is out. Come on, go sit. So the second one is strength. Okay. So Gemini, you've built a lot of strength in the meantime. Okay. So sometimes we feel that failing is going to make us weaker, right? Or that you're not good enough. Actually, it's training you to become stronger. And next time, similar thing happens, you know how to deal with it because you're saving, your memory is saving all those things that usually we are more hard on ourselves from everything that's going wrong than things that are going right, right? So we can hammer on the things that went wrong, but actually, we learn more from that. So, whatever has happened to you, now you become stronger. Okay. And it will be easier to create this next chapter in your life. So, I know that some of you needed to hear this, and um, it's okay to start anew, right? And this is a perfect time to do this. This is a perfect time to do so. So do your little manifestation, write it down, and see how you can get there with a plan. So that would be my message for you, my amazing Gemini. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time. So let's move on to Cancer. So Cancer, Sun, and Rising, we have this new moon in Capricorn at 28 degrees in your 7th house. And this is all to do with your relationships, with your partnership, right? So this could be your romantic partner. And, we have a trine with Uranus in the 11th house. So maybe some of you want to hang out with friends, making plans together. Some of you even working together. Okay. You could be working with your partner, romantic partner. But also, this is a great time to set plans if you have a business partner or start a new collaboration. Okay. If you're single, if you meet someone new, because we do have Pluto in a conjunction with Venus, okay, and they are also in a conjunction with all those planets, but Venus and Pluto sometimes really bring out our shadow sides, and they are projected onto the people that you meet. So if you meet someone new, give it time and see if this person is really, really matching with you. right? Because very often, and this is not just romantic relationships, right? But very often, um, we attract someone for things that we still need to resolve, and we are so drawn to these people. Usually the people that we're most drawn to are our biggest lessons. Like, they kind of feel like addictive, right? Like, I want to know more, I want to know. And then you get to know each other maybe physically, but you don't really know if you have a lot in common. So, what is very important is that you take out all the shadow aspects of yourself, right? Shadow integration, and you start to be okay more and more with who you are. So, it will be easier to attract someone, right? Like, if we're trying to be someone we're not to get the person that we want, very often that will lead to some problems. So just be careful around this time. Okay. Same with investments. Do a lot of research, but it's not the right time to start with an investment now. Okay. If you already have them going on, that's fine. But new ones around this new moon, not very recommended. This new moon is also in a sextile with Saturn and Neptune. They're almost going into your 10th house, Cancer. And for now, they're closing down this ninth house cycle. So, very good for spiritual practice. If you're studying something, right, because Saturn could make it more slow, because Saturn is slow and steady, it's not really fast moving, right? So, in the ninth house, maybe you had to do your exams more often, or you had to read the book and it just went really slow. But actually, when you do a resit, or you have to do an exam again, or you're reading a book again, or it's going slow, you're soaking up more of the information than when you go do it really fast. It goes more into the short term memory. So, Saturn wants you to actually memorize everything, um to in order for you to work on this long-term memory. But yeah, great for spiritual practices as well. Right now, some of you want to become a teacher, okay, and maybe the road to become that had a bit of obstacles, but actually you're going to make it happen. What do we have here? Justice. Your career brings fairness and protection to those who need your help. So, some of you are waiting also for an outcome of a court case. Okay. Stay calm is all I can say right now, because you do have Pluto and Venus in the eighth, and we have Saturn and Neptune in the ninth. So, deep research. And some of you even want to become a lawyer, okay, or want to be in a job where you can bring justice into the world. So, maybe working for a nonprofit that you research, because not all nonprofits are what they say they are, right? Music. So, a career in music, or excelling in a skill that you have, right? So, working on certain skills is something that maybe you want to bring forward. Maybe that's what you want to teach as well. Or you want to study and deepening this study that you have, okay? So yeah, that would be my message that I have for you, my amazing Cancer. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope to see you next time. Thank you so much. Let's move on to Leo. So, Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. For you, we have this new moon in Capricorn on the 18th of January 2026 at 28 degrees in your sixth house. And the sixth house is everything to do with your day-to-day routines. And Leo, this, if you want to do a certain fitness program, or you want to take care of your health, you want to start a new diet, that would be, the 18th, or around the 18th would be the perfect time, because Capricorn likes long-term commitments. So it wouldn't be like, I'm gonna go swimming one time. No, it would be like, I'm gonna get like, how do you say it, an ebony, or like a contract. So you're gonna do it on the long term. So this is about long-term commitment to your body, to your health, and also to a job. So it could be that you're starting a new job that you're going to do on the long term, or that you sign a new client, okay, that you're working with. Also, sixth house is your work and your colleagues, right? And you might have some passionate, good arguments going on because we have Mercury in a conjunction with Mars, but we don't have a lot of negative aspects. So it's really based on good and passionate conversations, good arguments. They are going to lead to a good outcome. Okay. We have Pluto and Venus in your seventh house. So if you're single and you're especially Leo rising, okay, at this around this new moon, be careful who you meet, because Pluto in a conjunction with Venus can sometimes bring in a little bit of toxic relationships. Okay. If you're already in a relationship, this might as well have a huge transformation. So anything that was hidden or was not revealed yet will be revealed yet around this new moon, okay? Because Pluto likes the truth to come out, um, and it wants to bring it to the light. So it might as well be that, if you've been holding back on something, that you really want to talk about it, okay? This can be related to love, this can be related to money, how you want to be loved, what is important to you, right? We have to be honest with our partner. So this is a good time to do that. This new moon is also in a trine with Uranus. Uranus is retrograde in Taurus. Um, New ideas for social media, for example, if you do anything online, um, new ideas to think that are a bit out of the box, but are actually going to work very, very well for you. Okay. And somehow you need a bit of freedom in your work. So even if you're doing something committed, you want to feel that you have some kind of liberty and authority to make certain decisions. So I have this life purpose cards, and I thought it would be very nice to, yeah, draw a card. Okay, we have infinite abundance, right? Um, you do have the South Node in the second house, and sometimes that can drain money a little bit. And Saturn and Neptune are in the eighth house. So after February, it will be much better to do any kind of investment. But before that, it could be more difficult. Okay. Long-term commitments, very well researched, but why not wait a little bit longer if that's what you're looking for? So infinite abundance. So abundance comes from doing your spiritual practice, because we have it there right in the eighth house, removing all the blocks, all the cycles that keep happening, right? So maybe you became aware of it. Hey, sweetie. Hey, sweetie. Come here. Oh, she was on my lap. Hey, sweetie. All right. So, yeah, it's time for you to feel the abundance first and know that abundance also comes in different ways. It's not just money. Abundance is also looking around you and see what you already have. And if you focus on what you already have, your life just becomes better, right? Like if we're only focusing on what's lacking, and we do the same sometimes with people. I do the same sometimes. I'm a Virgo, I'm critical sometimes, but and then I have to remind myself, like, no, 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 we have to look at the positive side of people. We cannot just look at the negative side, because if we do that, we will find something. There's always something to find if we're looking for it. And we don't want to stay in this bitter state, right? We want to actually like praise each other for the good things that we have, right? Then we have body work. So some of you might need a massage. Let me know in the comments if you need a massage. Um, if you do any kind of body work yourself, you might get a lot of new clients, okay? Or you might have some new techniques that are going to improve. Like you could be a physiotherapist, right? Or someone that um, works with the body. So yeah, physiotherapist, energy healer, or maybe you're doing something related to fitness trainer, or you're coaching people, Like a lot of Leos are great coaches. Okay. So you might see some changes in there too, and you might add some extra, um, yeah, some extra things to your program that are really going to attract new customers to you. So that would be my message for you. Amazing, my amazing Leos. Thank you so much for being here. And until next time. So let's move on now to Virgo. So, Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. For you, we have this new moon in Capricorn in your fifth house at 28 degrees. So you're going to be highly impacted if you are Sun, Moon, and Rising between 25 and 30 degrees. It's going to make a beautiful trine, and it's going to boost you into developing and improving your skill set. Now, a lot of Virgos, right, especially Virgo rising, you have Capricorn in the fifth house and, ruled by Saturn. So your hobbies and your skills, you take it very serious, right? You're someone that's going to repeatedly practice and everything. And after that repeated practice, you might want to make it your job. Okay. So some of you definitely are doing what you love to do or what you're really good at. And if not, you might start with a new hobby or a new skill or something, and you start doing it first because you like to do it. But a lot of Virgos, you're quite persistent, so you're going to keep practicing. And I got a question the other day in the comments, like, what would my hobby be? Like, what should I do then? And, very often if we go back to childhood and we see what we liked as a child and what we were interested in, is already giving away so much on the skill set that you have or the things that you dream about. So maybe you can look back into this inner child, right? And this is so beautifully aligned with astrology because the fifth house is related to your inner child. So if you don't know, you go to your inner child and you see what maybe is missing, or also to your own children, because we have Mars and Mercury. So maybe you want to have a certain conversation with your own children, a serious conversation, like what do you want to do with your school, where do you want to go, like depends on what age they have, but you can have a great conversation about long-term commitments with your own inner child, but also with your own children. Fifth house is also related to romance. So if you meet someone new right now, which is possible, we have this new moon in a sextile with Saturn and Neptune in the seventh house. We also have the North Node there. So you might meet someone new, but it's going to bring a little bit of obstacles first. Okay. It's not going to be a very easy love. It's going to be long term, slow moving love. Okay. And as a Virgo, most Virgos are either going to take someone serious or rather be alone if they're ready for this committed love, right? So yeah, wait for that right person. We have Venus and Pluto there in your sixth house. Sometimes can bring forward someone that has the wrong intention. So take it slow, listen to this Capricorn in the fifth house, okay? And see where that takes you in slow movement. Venus and Pluto in the sixth house are looking at your health, your diet, okay? So it's important to anything that's coming up, because Pluto will show you everything that's hidden, okay? It will come to the surface. So this ease is related to something you felt uncomfortable with for a long time. So imagine you were never able to speak up. So you swallow, you swallow, you swallow. You can't speak up, you can't speak up. You get problems with your throat area, your thyroid, your, how do you say it? Where you swallow, like, this area is gonna start to become heavy. So how can you heal that? By speaking up, okay? And I'm not against science. So first you go to the doctor and first you do that. But on the long term, you can heal that by looking at what you've been suppressing for so long, okay? Pluto and Venus also related to colleagues, right? So there might be some little gossip going on and about money, or this person is earning more, or this person is earning less. The best is to stay out of it, right now to not go into the games of what is going on in the workplace. Okay, so there might be a little bit of a toxic situation. Sixth house is also pets, so keep a good eye on your pets. Okay, if they're healthy, if they need something, you know, there are little babies. So yeah, this new moon is also in a trine with Uranus in the ninth house. So some of you will make a sudden trip, sudden travel. Uranus in the ninth house could be studying anything related to numerology, astrology, quantum physics, anything related to that, right? Or you could be even a traveling nomad working online. Okay, starting something new with that. Here we go. We have books. So perfect time to read a new book, start a new book with this fifth house new moon. And this book could be connected to your life purpose or to your life, something that you want to learn, something that you're curious about. Okay, so follow your curiosity right now. Okay, I'm getting school. So going back to school, and school is not as in we have to sit in a class, like maybe, but school can also be just following your interest, right? Talk to your angels. So if you're worried, and some people are worried because they can't hear their intuition, right? And this is the unfortunate thing, that we all have our intuition, right? That's why we shouldn't listen to people who say, "Oh yeah, I can do it, but you can't." Yes, you can be born with more intuition than other people. It's true. Like some people sing better, and other people can also sing, but it's not so good. So, um, but you can develop this intuition, because literally intuition wants you to be clean inside. That's why in spirituality, people fast, people become vegetarian. So it's not because of judgment or anything. It's just that when you want to listen to your angels, or you want to perceive more of what is there, you have to clean up your life, your thoughts, and become more pure. Okay. Stop involving in the games of life and things like that. And then you will hear your intuition better. And I know a lot of you who are watching are already have a strong intuition. I can already tell. Teaching. So we have some beautiful teachers here, okay? If that's something you want to do, even with children, yeah, because we have the fifth house, right? And Capricorn is usually activates things after 35. So 35 plus, it's going to be a lot easier. So if you want to teach children, this is a beautiful time to do that, okay? That would be my message for you, my amazing Virgo. Thank you so much for being here, and until next time. So let's move on now to Libra. So my lovely Libra sun, moon, and rising. We have this new one in Capricorn at 28 degrees and 43 minutes in your fourth house. So what does Capricorn want? It's ruled by Saturn. So this is about long-term commitment when it comes to your house, your roots. Maybe you're thinking about moving. This idea might be coming up, and you're thinking, this is a place I would like to move to. Doing your research, thinking about it. So if anything comes up around this time, listen to it. You could literally move right now, okay? It could be literally a move. We have a trine with Uranus in the eighth house. It could be that your loan came through and you got the house, and you're gonna move, okay? So also a time to speak up to your parents. Capricorn is father, fourth house is mother. So that would be both of your parents, okay? Speak up about something, maybe something that has been bothering you. And Capricorn, Mars is harsh, right? Like if it would be in a fire sign, it would be more impulsive. But Capricorn can kind of control this Mercury Mars. So do your research or prepare what you want to say more or less. That's going to help you. And in a calm way, you can bring forward your feelings, your opinion. Same if you have any trouble with a landlord or with someone that you're buying the house from, like a contractor, or someone that's working on the house, you can have a good conversation right now. That's going to lead to long-term commitment. You can even um, write a contract now, right? And see where that takes you. We have Venus and Pluto in the fifth house. Now, for people that are looking for love, okay, this is a bit tricky around this new moon. So, and we're going to have a lot of planets there in the fifth house up until, let's say, mid-February. So, if you meet someone new around this time, be very, very careful that if it feels intense and it feels amazing and you feel woo all over the place, then it could or might as well be a lesson. So be very careful with that, okay? If you're already committed, this is a time to, because we also have Chiron there in the seventh, squaring Mars and Mercury and this new moon in the fourth house. So maybe you want to involve your partner in this conversation, or maybe your partner points out something that you're like, yeah, I didn't see it that way. So maybe getting some advice there, okay? Um, yeah, fifth house is also children. Okay, so there might be some truths coming out about what your children have been doing, maybe some, teenage stuff or things that are coming to the surface, no matter how old they are, that might come to the surface that will change a bit your perspective, but that will also be helpful to know. Okay, because that's when you can help. Um, yeah, if you're pregnant or anything, just be a bit careful. Take care of your body, take care of yourself, and don't buy too many clothes, children clothes. Because with Venus and Pluto, you might go a bit overboard with the money going to your children. Okay. So, yeah, see how much you have and how much you're able to spend. Saturn and Neptune are also in a sextile with this new moon in your sixth house. Now, Saturn has been putting on a little bit more heaviness on responsibilities in the job place. So maybe it's been a bit harder. It's also really pointing out what you need to watch out for when it comes to your health. Okay. So anything related to health needs a cleanup right now. So having a bit of a good routine, like Saturn loves routine. So work with a good routine, eat healthy, okay? And listen to the signs in your body, because Saturn there is going to indicate exactly what you need to heal. We're getting study, research, reading, research, and educating help you gain confidence and clarity about your career. So it's time to do some research, right? And if you want to do something else or study something new, that you take your time and yeah, you can add that to your career, do that on the side, but it's a good time to open some books and to polish those skills that you have. Getting yoga. So some of you are literally yoga teachers, um, or just doing yoga in general, right? Like I said, have a good routine, do some yoga, do some stretching, meditation. You don't really need to go out to do that. You can do that at home, but literally stretching is opening your body, and it's very, very good for you. So try to do some stretching. Your body will really thank you for that, okay? Getting spiritual teacher, you heal with your classes, sessions, and seminars. So some of you are literally teaching others, okay? Teaching others, or you're going to someone that is teaching you, okay? I feel like you're going to have a lot of ideas coming up. So listen to your intuition. I see all these like symbols. So around this day, listen to your intuition, on where you want to move, or ideas for work, ideas for your skills or studies, something you're drawn to. Okay. So listen to that, because it's going to tell you a lot, my amazing, amazing Libra. So that would be my message for you. Thank you so much for watching, for being here, and until next time. So let's move on to Scorpio. Scorpio, Sun, and Rising. So for you, we have this new moon in Capricorn at 28 degrees on the 18th of January in your third house. And this new moon in your third house is in a conjunction with Mercury and Mars. So your speech is very powerful. If you're doing any type of research, you're writing about something, it's just really gonna make people respect you. So your words are going to be very powerful. So Scorpio, make sure to use them well, okay? To use them for the good. But if you do any kind of sales, presentation, research, you're writing a book, whatever it is, anything related to communication, you're going to be so strong in your words, okay, right now. It's also in a trine with Uranus there in the seventh house. So there could be some kind of collaboration. It's also one on one with clients. So there might be some brilliant ideas coming up in having conversations with them. Third house is also traveling. Okay. So if you have to make a small trip, like third house is more small trips, it's good to have a good plan. Okay. Because Capricorn likes a good plan better than to go and see where it takes you. Right now, this new moon tells you, okay, have a bit of a plan and know what you're going to do, where you're going to go. We have siblings here as well. So if there is anything that you want to speak up about, that you want to talk about with your siblings, this is the time to do that. Okay. It could be speaking up, it could be just having a great conversation, a bit maybe argumentative, but in a good way. It's going to lead you towards a mutual understanding because we have Venus and Pluto there in the fourth house. So with Pluto in the fourth house, some things might be coming to the surface, might come up, right? And especially if you're an early degree Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising, it's gonna square this Pluto, right? Especially right now, if it's around 3 degrees, um, you will see that a lot of things will come out, a lot of truths will come out about family secrets, things you haven't seen before that suddenly you're becoming aware of. Like, I had no idea that that was happening. I had no idea what was going on. So, things about your ancestors, things about your family that are coming to the surface. Okay. And this could also be related around this new moon with money, right? Because Venus is also money. Um, is someone holding money back? Or what is the truth about money? There's more money than we think, or there is no money, less than we think. Um, love, like how do people love each other? Is it control or is it was there a certain lack? And this, what comes up is not to blame parents, not to say, oh, you did that or you did that, right? It's more about healing yourself, right? Healing yourself and see what are you able to do to make the situation better, right? So yeah, a lot of things can come to the forefront, also related to housing situations or a place where you live. Okay, it could be something coming up about the landlord or the person that you're living with, that there's a bit of complications there. Saturn and Neptune are in your fifth house, making an aspect to this new moon and also to Mars. And with Saturn, they're in the fifth house. There could be, maybe your children needed more help. So there was a lot for you, Scorpio, related to children, family. You could have needed to support family. Um, but, Saturn is going into Aries after February. So anything related to children will become easier and better after February. Okay. Usually I'm in a separate room, but now the animals are right here. Bye, Jen. Hello. Okay. Yeah. So now they're all walking freely around me. Yeah, you coming? So yeah, what else can we talk about? Yes, love, right? Because fifth house is also about romance. It's not just children, it's also creativity and romance. So it can sometimes bring in restriction. Like, I'm not really interested in dating right now. I'm not really feeling creative right now. So it can also create some creative blocks, like that you're feeling blocked and it's not flowing as easily as usual, right? And I myself, as a Scorpio rising, I've experienced that. Like, usually it's very easy to make videos because I'm really excited to make them. But the past year, sometimes I just didn't know where to find the words. It was like a complete block. And I had to redo it a few times. Okay. And this is what Saturn does, it makes you redo things a few times so you practice and you get better. So actually it does improve your skill set, and it actually does improve everything. Same with love, right? Sometimes it even restricts, or yeah, you're just focused on different things, and it's like, I will not accept anything less than true commitment. And Uranus is almost out of the seventh house, and Uranus in the seventh house per se is not a bad thing. It's just like you or your partner or both of you need a bit more freedom. So it's more, oh, yeah, sweetie, not on the laptop. So you need a bit more. Come here. Let's go sit here. Oh. So yeah, not so focused on freedom, but it's more after that, there will be, maybe you want to spend a bit more time together. Okay, I have to get back to focus with all the animals around. Let me get you a card, Scorpio. Let's get you a card. So, justice, right? Justice. So there will be some justice in some kind of situation. Okay, so if you've been waiting for a certain outcome, justice, or you're taking things in your own hands, because in the end, you can decide if you want to carry the light, or if you're going into certain games, if you're going into certain things that make things worse, right? You can just carry the light and be like a Buddha and think, like, you know what, they can figure out whatever it is that they need to figure out. It could literally be that you're in law and you're a lawyer, or you're doing anything related to that. I'm getting artist. So, like I said, like a writer's block or creative block, actually, by just doing it without the pressure of doing it, um, and see it as a hobby first, is going to help you improve. Okay. Could be that you're literally an artist for work. Um, and if you felt a bit of a block after February, that's going to definitely get better. But at the same time, Saturn makes you a master in something. You're going to master certain skills. So even if you fail, try again, try again, try again until you have this perfect, um, this perfect product that you've made, because you had to try different things and it got you to a certain place. And Saturn is long term. So it would be a long term thing that you're keeping with you. Okay. So that would be my message for you, my amazing Scorpio. Thank you so much for being here. And until next time. So Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. For you, we have this new moon in Capricorn on the 18th of January at 28 degrees in your second house. So this is everything to do with your income, how much you're earning, and how much you value yourself. So we have Mercury and Mars as well. So some of you are going to ask for a raise. We have a trine with Uranus in the sixth house. So you could ask for it, or there could be a sudden raise happening, a change of job, sudden new client. So definitely more income can come your way. We also have Jupiter there in the eighth house. Okay, so it could also be that you've invested money that you're earning from, or you're getting money from insurance, from taxes, or from the in-laws, or someone that just invested money in you. Okay, so there's definitely opportunities for more income. Then we also have Venus in a conjunction with Pluto in your third house. And I love Pluto in the third house because Pluto is a bit obsessive, right? This is about transformation. This is about looking at the truth of the truth of the truth, going to the root of a situation, you know? So if there is any study you want to do, any report you want to write, okay, you might really get to the core of a situation. So a perfect time, like I said, to do research. It's in Aquarius, so research in maybe you make a certain tool for AI, or you're able to get further ahead in science, or you just have this brilliant out of the box ideas that you're able to communicate. Okay, but it can also be quite strong, so be careful that you're not coming on too strong and too intense with Pluto in a conjunction with Venus. Some trouble with siblings might be coming up, um, that are coming to the surface because Pluto reveals what is hidden. So either you or a sibling could be coming up with something, and yeah, you're gonna have to either talk about it or transform that in a situation that is beneficial for both of you. If you're traveling, make sure that you're well planned and you watch out for easy scams, okay? Because Venus is money and Pluto is, can bring out shadow sides of yourself and of people. So watch out for scams or being scammed regarding trips, or when you're on your trip that, they take your wallet or they have some tricks, okay? So be careful with that. Yeah, same thing if you're buying a car, because the third house is related to your transport or transportation. Okay. So make sure that everything is in order, and you maybe it needs to be approved, or you need to do your checkup with the car, or you're buying a new one. Make sure that you're not buying any scam. You have papers, and don't go for easy things like, it was really cheap, so I bought it. But something might be wrong there. So you have to go to the core of a situation and really check that. Saturn is in a conjunction with Neptune in the fourth house. So, and it's also making an aspect with Mercury and Mars and this new moon. So maybe you have to talk with family about money situations. Like I said, maybe there's something related to an inheritance, or there's some paperwork that needs to be done. Some of you said you need to take care of a family member, okay? Or family could just be either you need to take care of them or you feel more detached, okay? Could be cold. Saturn works in different ways, can restrict you from seeing them even. But there would be some conversation about money, okay? Let me get you a card. What do you have here? The answer you're seeking involves going to school. Well, with this Pluto in the third house, you're definitely going to be very good at studying right now. So maybe you want to start something new. You could be want to learn about money, okay? With this new moon in Capricorn, learning about accountant, becoming an accountant, learning about investments, things like that. Okay. And you might be earning your first money around this time. Also, third house is related to neighbors. So, yeah, could be some trouble with the neighbors for some of you. Talk to your angels. So, instead of worrying, talk to your angels. And I know this sounds very cliche or anything, but it really helps, right? To either do prayer or to write down your feelings, write down your emotions, because sometimes we think no one's listening, but it's not true, right? We can't, like, some people can see the other side, but not everybody can see the other side. But I can tell you that there's so much more than we think. So you're being heard. If we think we're alone, it's not, there's a lot of support. So listen to that. We got body work. So first of all, maybe someone needs a massage here. Um, maybe that's your job. Maybe you're a massage therapist. You do exercise training, or you help people exercise, doing any type of body work. And yeah, you might see some progress there because we have Uranus there in the sixth house. Or maybe you're deciding to do that more freely, more on a freelance based situation, or you're getting more freedom in the job that you're doing, and there might be new opportunities coming in for you, my lovely said. So that's my message for you. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time. So let's move on to Capricorn. So we have a new moon in Capricorn on the 18th of January, 2026 at 28 degrees and 43 minutes. And this new moon, I mean, you're especially going to be highly impacted if you have your sun, moon, and rising or any other planet between 25 and 30 degrees, right? And especially if it's at 28. And it's going to be in your first house. So it's a very strong placement for you, Capricorn. Very, very strong. Because Mars is exalted in your sign. We have Mercury there. We have this new moon. So you're going to make a statement. Like people are not going to go around you. Okay. So in work, you're going to be a go getter right now. Like you're going to get a lot of stuff done, exercising, anything related to taking action, now is the time. You might want to start something new. Maybe you're starting a new job, you're starting with a new client. Um, you're starting, like I said, you're starting your new health routine, doing sports. This is the best time to do that. Um, we have Venus in a conjunction with Pluto in the second house. So be aware of, money scams or people trying to, control your money or trying to benefit from something that you're doing. So be very careful with that. Also, it's time to face your self-worth when it comes to money. Like maybe you're making good money and you think like, oh, do I actually deserve that? Do I need to work harder? Right? Because Capricorn, you're ruled by Saturn. So sometimes it's not always been easy. Like you didn't get anything super easily, okay, for a lot of you. And when it does come more easily, you're like, ooh, do I even deserve that? Is that even possible? But actually, you're being rewarded for your hard work. Like you're the sign that it's not going to be invisible. Actually, everything with Saturn there is going to be counted. So if you work hard, you're going to see results. Okay. Because Saturn is not a planet that denies results. It's actually going to benefit you if you work hard and take on these responsibilities. Okay. So this new moon is also in a sextile with Saturn and Neptune in the third house. So there could have been a bit difficult communication with your siblings or with your neighbors. And actually, this could be improving around this time. Okay. Also, after February, Saturn is going to be out of the sign of Pisces going into the fourth house. So anything that needs to be resolved with neighbors, siblings, now you have such a strong voice and you're able to really clarify what you're feeling. And the best is, or not really feeling, but you can make a strong case, let's say it like that. But you need to have a good preparation because Capricorn, your sign, you like to be prepared. So prepare yourself before you go talk to someone. Also, you might be traveling. Again, need to have preparation before you're going on a trip. If you don't want any pregnancy, because we have this new moon in the first house, trining Uranus in the fifth. Okay, if you're waiting to get pregnant, it's a perfect time. But if you're not, be careful because Uranus is quite unexpected, right? What do we have here? Strength. And definitely you're going to be strong. Okay. No matter what comes up, it might be a whole new path that you're taking, Capricorn. It's a very powerful start for you. A very powerful start. So follow your strengths. You're so courageous around this new moon. So you might as well start something that you really wanted to do for quite some time. I'm getting crystals. Your connection to crystals and gemstones is a channel for healing energy. So, are you talking again, sweetie? I don't know if you hear it because Zoom does cut out the sounds, but she's meowing very hard, very loud. Um, so we have these crystals here. So maybe you want to have some jewelry with a crystal in it, and that's really going to help you because crystals have so much power in them, right? You can put them in your house, you can put them in your home. I have them as well, a ring here, and then I'm also carrying shungite because that's so good against electronic vibes. You know, we have so much electronic things in the house and around us, and it's actually preventing that. So maybe you want to look into that. But some of you actually want to sell them or create jewelry with crystals. Okay, we're getting creative expression. And for the people that think that Capricorns are not creative, that's so not true. That's so not true because, you know, Caps, you have Taurus in the fifth house. So, especially Capricorn rising, you have Taurus in the fifth house ruled by Venus. Check where your Venus is. But if it's strong, I bet you're very, very creative. Okay. So, time to also create your own canvas and create the things that you want in your life. Okay. We get spiritual teacher. Um, I kind of want to tell you that sometimes we need a teacher, but sometimes you're your own teacher as well, right? Like we can learn from people, but ultimately we have to do it ourselves, and we are independent people. So yeah, learning how to become your own teacher and listen to your own intuition, which is going to be very strong. You're going to have a very strong sense of direction around this time. So that would be my message for you, my amazing Capricorn. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time. So let's move on now to Aquarius. Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. We have this new moon in Capricorn at 28 degrees in your 12th house. So when it's in your 12th house, it's kind of time to relax. And it's a bit weird because Mars is there and Mercury, and it's kind of making you feel this weird restless feeling. Like, I want to do things, but I also want to rest. Okay. So don't feel bad about it. If you're feeling this way, this like push and pull kind of effect, it's very, very normal. Now it's time to really go within. Unless you do any voluntary work, actually, that's going to be very successful. You work in hospitals, prisons, you know, this actually is a good time for you, and you will get a lot of things done. But you have to listen to your body and not overdo things, okay? Jupiter is in your sixth house. It is protecting your body, your health, but also it makes you want to eat a bit more sweets. So be careful with the sweet tooth around this time. So Venus is in a conjunction with Pluto in your first house. And Aquarius, you've been going through massive transformations, especially if you are an Aquarius between 0 and 5 degrees. And we're going to have a whole bunch by the end of January and beginning of February, all in a stellium in your sign. Okay. So I'm not going to lie, it's going to be a bit intense, you know, but also intensity means growth. Okay. So you're definitely transforming so many things in your life. When it's Venus in the first house, it's about your identity, who you are. Um, and sometimes you will attract people, okay, especially around this time. If you're single, there might be people coming in your life, and romantically as well, that are presenting the wounds that you still have. And I'm talking from experience because I have Pluto in the first house and it's in a square with Venus. So I have had my fair share of attracting the wrong people before attracting the right person. And it had to do with self love. Ultimately, deep down, there was something in me that didn't think I deserved love, that didn't think that that was for me. So there might be people, and it's romantically, it could be friends, could be colleagues right now that are coming in, and they're showing you where you need to heal. Okay. So there's definitely times for love coming, especially when Jupiter is in Leo. But if you meet someone now, it's, you know, take it one step at a time. Don't go too fast because there's a whole bunch of intense planets and you might jump into something that is not quite it yet. If you're already in a relationship, it's just really about learning from each other, growing together, and it might be uncomfortable, but at the same time, you know, growth is healing. And the person that stays with you through all this growth, you can bet that's the person for you. Okay. So rest, right, is a perfect time to do journaling, writing, um, doing exercises at home like yoga, like Tai Chi, Qigong, like more flowy energies, or just have a beautiful walk, because we're talking about Capricorn, is an earth sign. Go have a nice walk in the forest, in the park. Okay. Saturn is soon going out of your second house. Okay. That was maybe restricting your money a bit because Saturn wants you to work hard for it. And anything related to self-worth has been healed. So after February, Saturn is going into your third house, leaving more room for more money. Okay, because just the North Node is there pulling you in the right direction. So the pressure of, lack of income, for example, will be gone after that, especially for my lovely Aquarius rising. Oh, we just talked about it. Yoga. It's very good to do yoga right now. Okay. Is it time to align yourself? Okay. Prepare for your season. And also, because you're going through so many transformations right now, it's important to do spiritual practice. It's going to be so much easier for you. And this is where you become wise. And this is where teachers are born, because teachers aren't born, right, with easy peasy. And yeah, most people that teach and haven't been through transformations, they teach from the books, which is okay. The books is okay, but going through it yourself is a whole other level of teaching. Um, so yeah, career change. Like some of you are going for a career change. So what is it that you truly want, Aquarius? And we have Capricorn in the 12th house. So maybe it's time to think about it and to really see what is suiting for you, what you actually would like to do. You're fully supported, right? Sometimes is you're thinking, where's my support and what am I doing? But actually, you are always supported, right? Because ultimately, always things you're always being catched. Sometimes it's close and you're like, oh, that was close, but you're always being catched. And it's about you listening to this intuition that you're having, this very strong intuition. Okay. Because with Pluto in your sign, you're really able to read people more easily. Okay. You will see what you have around you. But Pluto does block people that are not good for you, usually to learn the lesson, right? Because I get that question sometimes, like, how come that you have obstacles because you're teaching and you can look into the astrology, but if I am here and I'm learning nothing, what am I here? What am I doing here, right? Like, it's about learning from obstacles. It's about making mistakes. And when you make mistakes, you can help others because you've been there and you know what that feels like, right? So nobody's perfect. Everyone has obstacles, and people that say that don't have obstacles, they're either in a very good astrology period, which I've seen in most cases that some of the teachers, right, that's manifest manifestation coaches are actually having a lot of good aspects, and I look in the Vedic astrology and they're going to a really good period that makes things very easy. But sometimes people go through difficult times, and that's where I come in. I like to help people who are going through difficult times and solve that, right? And help them overcome that. Okay. I will also help people who have it easy, but usually they don't book a reading. um Body work. So maybe you want to learn about Reiki. Maybe you want to do um, learn how to do certain movements like yoga. Learn about Tai Chi. Learn about energy. Learn martial arts. Right? That is going to improve your overall well-being in combination with your diet. So that would be my message for you, my amazing Aquarius. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time. So let's move on now to Pisces. Pisces, Sun and Rising. For you, we have this new moon in Capricorn at 28 degrees on the 18th of January in your 11th house. So this is everything to do with your community, your friendships. And with Capricorn in the 11th house, you take your friendships very seriously, right? So you're someone you have prefer less friends and long-term friends. So you might have some really good conversations with them because we have Mars and exalted in a conjunction with Mercury. So you can have great conversations. If you are launching anything, right? Maybe you're launching a product, you're going to a conference, or you're networking, like your speech is very powerful right now. So whatever you're talking about, like maybe you're making a social media video and you're just really making your point. Like you're really making your point, and people feel very drawn to what you have to say right now. Okay. This new moon is also in a sextile with Saturn and Neptune in the first house. So Saturn has been putting some responsibilities onto you, but after February, that tough feeling will go away. So if you've had someone arising or another planet, in the last few degrees, then you're feeling it now, okay? The heaviness that Saturn brings, but it was actually redirecting you in a different direction, because the first house is your identity, your authenticity, but also the direction that you're taking. So maybe you're taking a whole different turn now and you're seeing things in a different way. Then we have Venus and Pluto in your 12th house. So here is your power is a bit hidden. So things are happening behind the scenes that you're not really noticing, right? So maybe people behind your back are saying something, or you might have a secret admirer because it's in a conjunction with Venus. Okay, so someone is secretly in love with you, but the 12th house is kind of hiding, right? It's not really showing you who or what until later. Okay. So also because Pluto is hidden in this 12th house, make sure to stand up for yourself if you have to. Okay. If you have to. But new friends, new community could be coming up that is showing you a new direction that you are taking. So actually, it's very positive. It's a very positive time for you. Yeah, don't go into any kind of gossip or secret affairs. That's not the time now. Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay, counseling. So some of you are counselors or you're naturally really good at listening. Okay. And funnily enough, this time you're also a very powerful speaker. Okay. Not that Pisces are not powerful speakers, but you're a great listener and you're a great advisor, right? But usually, especially if Mercury is in Pisces as well, then you're better at listening and you prefer to say things when, um, you're not someone that's going to speak over people. You just love to listen. Okay, so a lot of you are naturally counselors, and then I get support. So it could be that you're thinking about making changes. Okay, changes. Maybe there will be some changes. Because we also have this new moon in a trine with Uranus in the third house, so it could be an unexpected trip with your friends or with this community, and maybe you're afraid that the work that you want to do or the life that you want, that you're not going to be financially supported with that. Okay, protect it. So Capricorn is about making long-term plans, and the 11th house is about the masses. So like I said, you maybe are going to make a long-term planning on how to speak to the public or how to because it's also about helping others. So how can you help other people with the job that you're doing, right? And maybe you feel like what you're doing is not good enough. And this is where usually your block comes in, right? Take it one step at a time, not too fast, because I'm getting indecisiveness. Like maybe um you find it hard to make a certain decision, but look at this wheel. It's always going around. Like sometimes life goes up and sometimes life goes down. It's very normal, right? And you don't have to get it right in one go. So if there is a certain career that you want to do, give it time. Give it time and money will follow and you can always do something on the side to support you. Like but you don't have to give up on it completely. So listen to your feelings. Yeah, I'm getting compliments from an admirer. So yeah, some of you definitely have a secret admirer there, but yeah, you see how you deal with that. And I always say, like, as long as everything is honest, honesty is the best way. You know, Pluto will definitely bring in very difficult situations if people are not honest. Like, first, you think you're in control, but then after, Pluto's gonna do the opposite. Okay. Getting October. Some of you have your birthday in October, or October is the month that you're gonna make a lot of changes next year. Okay. So, yeah, that would be my message for you, my amazing Pisces. I'm wishing you a fantastic new moon. All the best to you, and until next time. Thank you so much.